Welcome to Link Ahead to the State of the City episode.
That's right, and we are talking to all 7 of your city council members. Our first guest, Mayor Chris Amorose-Grooms. Welcome back.
Appreciate the invitation.
Okay, the State of Our City theme this year is leading the way. I'm curious, what are your ways that you think Dublin is a leader in the region, the nation, or even the world?
You know, I think Dublin makes an attempt to lead at every level. I was at the day-to-day for MORPC day before yesterday, and one of our staff members was presenting on how do we find peer cities, right? So I think we try to lead on so many levels, even in what might be simple things that our community may never even know that we do, and then leading in big things as well. I think for council to lead in the region, it's kind of like the old story of everyone picking up their corner of the carpet. And, you know, for me, I know in spaces like MORPC that we can have influence on conversations relative to Link Us, on conversations relative to rail. It's really important to have a voice. And so I step into those spaces and try to lead in those areas. When it comes to municipal fiber and the fiber to the home project that we are in the process of completing at this point in time, you know, to work in the FCC. I was very honored to be named as a working group leader in the FCC work that I was doing. And, you know, just to try to represent our interests, because our municipal fiber and our fiber to the home project is incredibly important to our economic development. And that references back to the growth and the opportunity to grow, because if you're not growing, you're shrinking. So I think council members largely pick up their corner of the carpet wherever they are, find their passion, and really try to move the city forward in those areas.
Looking forward, what are some things about Dublin's future that are exciting to you?
Gosh, I think everything about the future is exciting. I think that our future is incredibly bright. I think there are endless opportunities. I think there have been strategic moves made recently that have positioned us a way to fuel growth. You know, so oftentimes we talk about growth and how do we manage that. And really, it is a blessing to be able to have the opportunity to manage growth, because if you're not growing, you're shrinking. And I think for my own personal budget, for everyone I know's budget, would you rather manage a growing budget or would you rather manage a shrinking budget? And to have the opportunity by the strategic moves that we've been making over the last really decades is the opportunity to manage growth. And that's a privilege.
Joining us now is Vice Mayor Christina Alludo. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
What are some ways that you think Dublin is a leader in the region, the nation, and even the world?
Well, the answer is right in our strategic goals. The most connected community in the U.S., that's not just technology or fiber to the home, which is happening today. It speaks to our leadership in health initiatives with the community health assessment, transportation options like the Dublin Connector, micromobility, and our connected multi-use paths, and the future potentially of rail. We also have an unwavering commitment to social connectedness through our events, social media, and the transparency of local government. And it doesn't stop there. At the City of Dublin, we know our relationships throughout the region and the world are critical to the success of Dublin and all of our neighbors. Dublin is a global yet connected community, leading the way for our residents to live their very best lives right here in the city of Dublin, Ohio.
All right, looking forward, what are some things about Dublin's future that you are excited about?
Wow, there's so much to be excited about. I am looking forward to the Metro Center revitalization. There will be some very creative and flexible ideas coming forward. I'm thrilled about the acquisition of Sports Ohio. I think that's going to give our residents, our region, and even our country an opportunity at some really unique sports venues and initiatives, which is just wonderful. I'm super excited to be a little bit more local about our recreation center refresh. It's going to be a great way to take an enormous amenity to the community and make it just really more vibrant and exciting for everyone. I'm also excited about all of our fun stuff that we do, our parades, the ways that we get together as a community, and how we just bring all of that fun together for ourselves and to share with others. It's a really great time to be in the city of Dublin as a resident, as a business, and as a visitor. We have so much to be proud of, and we'll never stop working hard to lead the way.
Joining us now is Councilmember John Reiner. Thanks for being here.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, you've been on council for decades. What are some ways that you think Dublin is a leader in the region and even the world?
Actually, Dublin was the first city, I think it was about 1980, to foment the first landscape environmental legislation, comprehensive one, in the United States of America. So we created this green, beautiful, well-planned environment that drew a lot of people here. Dublin was the first community to develop a community recreation center, which was amazing at the time because nobody really had one. And the idea that, hey, we're going to have this center and it's going to be inexpensive and we care about the people and we want them to be healthy. And if you tune back into the 80s again, we started a program for developing bicycle trails and walking trails for our community, which was sort of unheard of in this region. And we wanted people to get out and exercise. So there was that concern about public health that was really, really important. And then we came up with fiber. And the reason I think I backed fiber was because I read an article that all the great banks in England were run with fiber and they really couldn't be tapped. And it was just a really unique thing for a small town like Dublin to have. So then we went into having fiber, and as you know, we're going to spread fiber to every home and be the most connected city in the United States. So the next thing that Dublin did that was amazing was created a walkable city, the first one of its kind in the region from the get-go. And that was connected the historic area with the new city and with a really cool bridge. Dublin is being copied from Maine to San Diego and from Portland to Florida. And we're using Dublin as the model of the most successful walkable city. So we're in California and San Francisco and other famous cities. We're talking Dublin. We've worked on taking care of our people and their health and the welfare, the education, and have done about everything we could in the last 45 years that I've been involved with you to make this place fantastic. And the slogan might be Irish. If you're lucky enough to be in Dublin, you're just lucky enough.
All right, looking forward, what are some things about Dublin's future that are exciting to you?
It's a never-ending panoply of great new ideas. Because the city is open to public input from every citizen, you just never know what direction we're going to take.
Joining us now is Councilmember Amy Cram. Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning.
Our State of the City theme this year is leading the way. What are some ways you think Dublin is a leader in the region, the nation, or even the world?
I thought about this for a while, and I'm going to summarize it as I believe we lead by example. So, people who visit Dublin, they notice our green spaces, they notice how clean everything, how well maintained our roadways are. And I hear them say they notice the diversity of our residents and the friendliness of our residents and the people who work here. And even our residents, they enjoy our multi-use trails and our parks. And everyone always says there's so many things for families with young children to do. So I think all of that just sets an example.
So as we continue to lead, looking forward, as a council member and a resident of Dublin, what are some of the things about Dublin's future that are exciting to you?
I'm really excited to see how we expand on Bridge Park. So we were a leader in Central Ohio kind of when we started. I would unofficially call it this suburban urbanization concept. I mean, it's been a long time. It was back in 2007 we started envisioning this. And what I see is that so that's no longer a new concept. This high density work-live district is no longer a new concept. And so I think as we revitalize Metro Center, I'm excited to see if we can set a new example, do something different, see how we can be creative with this mixed use and the architecture so it just doesn't look like everything else that we see everywhere now. And so I want Dublin to show the region that all mixed use does not look the same and that it can feel different and look different. So I'm excited to see about that. I'm also excited to see how we build our new premier athletic complex.
Joining us now is Councilmember Andy Keeler. Andy, thanks for joining us.
Happy to be here.
All right, so our State of the City theme this year is leading the way. What are the ways that you think Dublin is a leader in the region, the nation, and even the world?
So one of our former mayors, Greg Peterson, he liked to say we're the tip of the spear. And it's not uncommon for staff members from surrounding communities to contact Dublin to ask us how we're doing things. I like to say that we're leaders in everything and not followers in anything. And I know that's a bold statement, but an example is the recent economic development team was reaccredited by the International Economic Development Council. We're one of 95 economic development teams worldwide without accreditation, and the only one in the state of Ohio. Recently, the police department announced that they're launching an autonomous drone program for first responders. So that will allow the police department and EMS to have a drone launched within 90 seconds at any spot in the city of Dublin to help the first responders assess the situation before they arrive on scene. So we're always looking for what's next.
All right, looking forward, what are some things about Dublin's future that you're excited about?
I think it was 2 or 3 years ago when we were planning for the State of the City, I said in the video that we did for that, the future will make the past look as if we were standing still. And what I meant by that is that there have been so many really cool things that are the envy of others across the country, certainly across the state and even across the world, that our past leaders have done through thoughtful leadership. Certainly, we're a planned community. There's no denying that. But examples like Muirfield, Bridge Park, the Link, the question is, what's next? We always have to be thinking ahead. We've talked as a council about distinct destination nodes. Planning is well underway for Metro Center, the Metro Center Revitalization Project. We hope to create a unique identity, iconic architecture, and that unique sense of place will include housing, arts, entertainment, retail, and dining. And now that we own Sports Ohio, we can begin master planning a sports entertainment complex that incorporates Dari Fields and will become the only sports destination of its kind in the state of Ohio. That, too, will include a hotel, hopefully, dining, and entertainment. We obviously have to look at balancing residential use of this new sports complex and generating economic impact for the city.
Joining us now is Councilmember Jane Fox. Thanks for being here.
I love this.
All right, Jane, what are some ways you think Dublin is a leader in the region, the nation, and even the world?
Well, in thinking about that theme, leading the way, I think we have to look back and recognize this wonderful journey Dublin's been on. John Sells was visionary in placing a village on the banks of the Scioto because he saw this potential and this beautiful natural beauty that we still see today, and the potential of the river for transportation and growth. And since then, there's been a legacy of leaders who have been doing the same thing, planning visionary strategies to make this place great. And I think it's a testament to our success, collaborative success of our leaders and our dedicated staff and our amazing citizen engaged people who work with us and the countless volunteers, businesses, city partners, all those people come together, and they come together to dream. They come together to dream about what this place could be like, how it could flourish and make people's lives better. But you know what I really think is wonderful is that we don't just dream it. We imagine it, and then we study for it. We actually think about what it's going to be like, and we research it, and then we plan it. We're great planners. We plan it. But most importantly, we execute it. And I think that's what makes this place so special and the way we lead better than most cities do.
All right, as we continue to lead, looking forward, what are some things about Dublin's future that are exciting to you?
For me, our strategic plan has 3 focuses, but the one that's really exciting to me is connectedness. Because I think, in a way, it's rather, I would say, symbolic that the Link Bridge is called the Link, because link means to connect. And I think foundationally, the most happiest communities are the ones that are connected, that they're talking to each other, there's social interactions, there's just great cooperation. And we do that through 4 focus areas. Our democracy, where we're trying to get people to feel so connected to their local government. We have our infrastructure, which now we're bringing 10 gigabits to every house and resident in the city. We have this great mobility plan, which is going to have us out walking and actively moving in the community and meeting each other. And then we have our planning strategy, which it isn't just about the architecture. It's about creating these flourishing spaces where people come together and they're connected to each other. And it's just an enriching opportunity. So to me, I think Dublin is creating a city where people come together. And I don't know how you can have a better city than that. I mean, I think it's amazing that we are focused just in so many ways in that it's almost like a mantra, connectedness. So to me, a healthy city is one that's connected. It's one that people are talking to each other. They're exchanging ideas. They're coming together and they feel like they have a sense of belonging. And that creates well-being and a collective soul.
Joining us now is Councilmember Kathy DeRosa. Welcome to Link Ahead.
Thank you. Happy to be here. What are some ways you think Dublin is a leader in the region, the nation, or even the world?
My answer might be a little different than what you'd expect, because I think one of the reasons we lead is because we're committed to learning. So to me, it isn't so much about what we produce, but it's about what goes into the work. I am always impressed with the amount of time this community council, our boards and commissions are committed to going places, learning things, seeing what's happened, making it work. And that, I think, is the secret sauce to what really makes Dublin able to do all the really interesting and progressive things that we do. So let's keep learning.
Looking forward, what are some things about Dublin's future that are exciting to you?
Yeah. I know a lot of you have read and are excited because you've shared it with me about our recent purchase of Sports Ohio. And that's just the beginning, as we all know, as most things, as we just talked about, are here in Dublin. I like to ride my bike, as many folks do here. And one of the things that I'm particularly excited about, and that is the Greenway that's going to connect the Sports Ohio Future Complex all the way through Metro Center and find itself through historic Dublin and downtown. I think it's an example of when we think about what the future is going to look like. Yes, it's important for us to spend time on what our housing stock is or what our building stock is, but equally important, I think, and what a focus has been of the staff and of council is, what is the community going to feel like? What is the space around all the wonderful spaces that we have? And this is just going to be, I believe, a premier project in the region. You know, why we live here and not just where we happen to live in the community. So looking forward to that project, among many.
All right, as we start to wrap up our conversation, we have one more question for everyone.
How would you describe the state of our city?
Again, I would say I'm incredibly optimistic. Our residents seem to be very engaged, and when we continue to be able to have conversations, that means that we're healthy. When you stop talking is when bad things start happening, and we're continuing to talk, we're continuing to engage on a lot of different levels, and not everybody is exactly where they want to be, but the conversation continues to happen. We look at the change that'll be happening in our rec center and what that might look like in the future, and there are tough decisions to be made, but I'm very optimistic, and I feel like we're poised for growth, and we're poised, and not just because bigger is better. It's because as you grow, there's opportunity. If you don't grow, there won't be opportunity, and so we have to continue to grow.
The state of our city is excellent. I think community involvement is great. We are financially unbelievably healthy all across the board, education, outdoors, and we are blessed to have really good staffing. We're in good shape, and we're going to continue to be in good shape financially, and I can see where things are going to come together from a planning perspective, and I'm talking about the future, and maybe we do have air mobility along the railroad tracks if we end up with a station here or not, that vision, and we're willing to work on it. And it's a lot of effort, really, but we're willing to work on the future.
I'm going to say the state of our city is grounded. And I mean that by saying we have an educated and passionate and respectful, giving residents who are so proud to support our city. And we have amazing corporations here that contribute to our city and our city's financial health. And we have dedicated, hardworking employees of the city. And because of all of this, I think we have a strong foundation. And that's why I say we're grounded. And so no matter what external factors come around or what craziness happens in the world today, we are grounded and, we'll keep moving on.
I would say bold, innovative, and fiscally sound. We think ahead, we plan accordingly, and we aren't afraid to try new things. We have a AAA bond rating that's better than the federal government, and a balanced budget.
All right, last question. How would you describe the state of our city?
Well, we're obviously connected. We're obviously sustainable. We're obviously resilient. But I think it's more about what our qualities are. Our qualities create our state. So when I think about it, our qualities are nurturing, innovative, creative. We are neighborly. We're interesting. We're fun. We have opportunities. We're hopeful. We're authentic. We're compassionate. We're hardworking. We're dependable. We're inclusive. We're respectful. So I guess when you put all that together in a soup pot, I think you call that exceptional.
How do you describe the state of our city?
Yes, I think our state of our city is ever evolving.
Dublin has always been a city of visionaries and doers. And now, more than ever, we are poised to set the standard for excellence in Ohio and the world. Our strategic investments in smart infrastructure, sustainable growth, and community well-being are more than just words on paper. They're commitments to the future of every resident, every family, every business, and every visitor in our community. As we move forward, we will embrace the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead with the same spirit of collaboration and determination that has brought us this far. Together, we're not just preparing for tomorrow, we are honoring our past and actively shaping our future. The state of the city of Dublin is innovative, inclusive, and resilient. Welcome home.
Well, Bruce, our podcast is all about linking ahead, thinking ahead, and this has been a great episode talking to all 7 of our council members.
Totally agree, Lindsay. It's so great to hear everyone talk about not just the where we are now, but where they want to be.
And we want to invite everyone to join us for the State of the City at the Exchange in Bridge Park on March 13th.
And to our listeners, thank you as well for taking the time to connect with your city. Tune in next time as we continue to explore the many personalities and experiences that make Dublin a thriving place to live, work, and grow.